of my mind. Fear falls away, crack the shell of a new day.
Hey, Cairo, good morning. This is Olu Fakolade of Idinkai Fa Temple, tapping in with you. This is our Ile Juba, our morning service. Today's topic is going to be a really good one. All I see is IRE. So, I always like to begin with morning prayers. So, why don't we begin with that today? So, if we can remove our head coverings, and those of you who are near your ifas, kneel and greet your ifa, greet your shrines with me, and let's begin. Mojuba Lorum, Mojuba Leda, Mojuba Loromari, Mojuba Bobo Romale, Mojuba Bubo Iman, Mojuba Bobo Ekin, Tembili Solorum, Mojuba Oshungwade, Mojuba Aguade, Mojuba Fragadamus, Mojuba Toa, Mojuba Florius, Mojuba Palau Corriente, Mojuba Felipe Zaluete, Mojuba Gunjobi, Mojuba Miye, Mojuba Shamola, Mojuba Shalanko, Mojuba Samadi, Mojuba Eshubu, Mojuba Bastajuma, another from the first, Mojuba Lusu Daniels Murray, Mojuba Dar Tom, Mojuba Bates Murray Senior, Mojuba Alpha Daniels, Mojuba Clifford Daniels Watkins, Mojuba Dalia, Mojuba Zion, Mojuba Malcolm, Mojuba Clifford Holmes, Mojuba Clifford Watkins, Mojuba Janita, Mojuba Kiriba, Mojuba Mojuba James Orris, Mojuba Henry Abraham, Mojuba Catherine McCoy. Ifar, we come to you, Olodumare, we come to you this morning with many prayers. Adjogbe, he who hears people's pleas and accept the pleas. He who hears people's pleas and approves the pleas. He who talks to people and ensure that the talks are completely absorbed. He who hears people's pleas and accept the pleas is the name of Ifar. He who hears people's pleas and approves pleas is the name of Shodan. He who talks to people and ensure that the talks are completely absorbed is the name of Orishan. Orishan, are you the person Muslim being? The person Muslim cannot fail to impress one. Strike falls against someone's rainfall. Bullfrog is the wind of someone's down. It is whatever the accurate radio form. He tells the earth, whatever the earth accepts. Whatever the big rat tells earth, just accept. So I tell you, please accept them and approve them. Share. Ultrarete, to show gratitude upon gratitude, the ava of gratitude. To display benevolence upon benevolence is the awo of benevolence. Whoever does not show gratitude for yesterday's benevolence, such a person will not receive today's gratuity. These were the declarations of Isa. To the 401 at Rumala, when going to marry your boy, daughter of Rushfuji. These are also declarations about to Rumala, when going to marry your boy, the daughter of Rushfuji. I am grateful. I see my gratuity. I'm grateful for yesterday's favor. I see today's gratuity. Ultra-rete. We're very grateful. Àwa dúpẹ́, àwa bore, àwa dúpẹ́ o, àwa bore. A dúpẹ́ àná wa ó bore tùnẹ́bọ̀ Olódùmarè. Àwa dúpẹ́, àwa bore, àwa dúpẹ́ o, àwa bore. A dúpẹ́ àná wa ó bore tùnẹ́bọ̀ orí ẹni. Àwa dúpẹ́, àwa bore, àwa dúpẹ́ o, àwa bore. A dúpẹ́ àná wa ó bore tùnẹ́bọ̀ irúnmọlẹ̀. Àwa dúpẹ́, àwa bore. Àwa dúpẹ́ o, àwa bore. A dúpẹ́ àná wa ó bore to nebo legunorisha. Olodumare and the divinity. We thank you for life, health, strength, food, clothing, shelter. Ashe. Eros and Tutu, we ask you to forgive us. Eros and Tutu, Panadian without soup can be very difficult to consume. These were the decorations we saw to Tutu, the child of Agbenemegun. He was full of bad character, his bad attitude had prevented him from entering God's domain. Now come to solicit on behalf of it, Tutu. We've come to beg on behalf of it, Tutu. Father, please be patient, overlook this provocation. Those who beg on behalf of Tutu, those who beg on behalf of the Tutu, those who solicit on behalf of the Tutu, how many children does Bifa have that he is casting out? Those who beg on behalf of the Tutu, share. Oh, Bealara, Ifa, we ask that you would continue to ward off death, ward off sickness, ward off cases, controversy, ward off fights, litigation, losses in our fights from us. Bring forth to us long life, give us wealth, give us peace of mind, give us good spouse, good children, give us joy, give us healing, victory, success. Oh, Belara, Orumila says it's time to sleep. I echo, it is time to sleep. When the day dawned, I met a room in the 16th room, where he covered his head with a flowing gown full of light. He was wearing a dress full of bloodstains. He was snoring heavily. They told him a delegate from his disciple arrived. A room inquired what the delegate brought. They told him they brought 2 rocks with the money, 2 fish graceful swimming, 2 birds swift in flight, 2 goats with big livers. A woman said, that's not enough work, man. I admit my ignorance, she's educated. Motuna Karaba, I hide myself in her bosom and survive. Motuna Karaba, the dog carrying masquerade to be Agbadron. The dog carrying masquerade to be Agbadron, repeatedly to perform rituals because of children. You are the leaders, we are the followers. Leaders are the ones who show the followers wisdom. A rumor told them to get alligator pepper, to get cola nut, to get bitter cola nut, to get alcohol. The couple got the alligator pepper, he got the cola nut, got the bitter cola nut, and he got the alcohol. That is right. Now that he is fully awake, Orumila, when you are fully awake, please look at me with eyes of compassion. It is with eyes of compassion that heavenly stars used to look at the stars below. Orumila, when you are fully awake, please look at me with eyes of help one to secure great wealth. It is such good eyes that heavenly stars used to look at the stars below. Orumila, when you are fully awake, please look at me with eyes of help one to secure a good spouse. Such good eyes on spouse that used to look at you. Orumila, when you are fully awake, please look at me with eyes of help one to bear many children in such good eyes a child should use to look at the ready to play. Be full long, not too far, join us in the midst of all evil in life. Father, we ask that you would hear all of our prayers. Please manifest these prayers. We ask that you would protect us. Push away all evil, push away all danger. Move my ego out of the way so that we can hear a word of you, Father. We call on all those protective forces at this time. Emma coming many amo, Emma coming many on, Emma coming many at the lokum, Etamole, Tori Ifa Lonimi, Ebora Timpanini, Eni Banam, Aon Atifa Lilijo, Oshetra. Tiny of the feet of Tubu, the stripe of a chameleon is not big enough to be his headgear. Had it been enough to be his headgear, I would have taken it home and drawn my hair with it. Easy for decorations to Arola and going on spiritual missions to Jebula. Who's calling on local things and pay money. Calling the South and make a rich. We're calling Arola with respect and the Jebula. Oshe Arola Zagarawo, Oshe Tra. I kick in a bagisa. The abstract trouble against the tree, Cassie Papa Rumula. When he was Iba and I share from all of them. If an award tells you you should be wealthy, you should be wealthy. I kick it in Bagisa in the mouth of an award, I did Banasha in the mouth of an award. If an award tells you have victory, you should have victory. I kick it in Bagisa in the mouth of an I did Banasha in the mouth of an award. If no tells you have joy, you should have joy. I kick it in Bagisa in the mouth of an I did Banasha in the mouth of an award. If no tells you have all good things like you should have all good things. I kick in a bagista and the mouth of an award, Zatipana share the mouth of an award. Talk essay, man, be socially shall it be. I say Orisha, lenu mi o, I say Orisha, lenu mi bobon timo ba mama wio, irumole oba, ipa oba o, I say Orisha, lenu mi. Bimo duro, timo sure, bimo bere, timo sure. Bimo kule, Timo sure, Bimo joko, Timo sure, Ire Timo su oritibo. Orieni larure yeni o, Orieni larure yeni, Mojulo mufa wa mori, Orieni larure yeni. Ashe. Bobore chaju, Ifá ọba lọ́run, àtìbà chaju, Ifá ọba lọ́run, ó ṣe àrú ìlà Ifá ti bọ́. Olodumare and the divinity, we thank you for life, health, strength, food, clothing, shelter, sustenance, and all good things of life. We ask for forgiveness. We praise you. We ask for forgiveness. And we ask that you would support us in actualizing our dreams, actualizing our destiny. Move all the negative things out of the way so that we can hear a word of you. We thank you and we bless you. Ashe aboro aboya aboshishe aboto. Man, thank you all. Thank you all for joining us today. Thank you once again. This is Olu Fakola David in Kaifa Temple, and this is our Ile Juba, our temple service. So today's topic is going to be very interesting. Our topic today is called All I See is IRE. All I see is IRE. And the secret to this topic is the reality that what you focus on focuses on you. So when we think about that, what is IRE? IRE, generally categorized from an Ifa, from a Yoruba perspective, IRE is everything that is good. It is everything that is good, that is blessed, that is great. IRE, in essence, is all blessings. And all blessings, when we look at it from a scientific and a spiritual perspective, blessings are nothing but expansion, positivity. IRE is about getting better and getting better upon better and gooder upon gooder. It is about actualizing yourself. IRE is about bringing more good into the world. And Ifa is about bringing good into the world, bringing more good into the world. So it's natural that IRE is that. In Ifa, here are some of the major IREs, major blessings, and what those things mean. So we have IRE Aiku, which is long life. We have IRE Aje, which is wealth, prosperity. We have IRE Omo. IRE Omo is the IRE of children. IRE Ishegun. Ishegun is victory over all adversity. IRE Ibujoko, which is settlement. We have IRE of Irorum, which is peace of mind. IRE Oye, which is leadership. IRE I, which is honor and reward. So we have so many different IREs, and this is just a snapshot of the IREs. This is just some of them that Ifa categorizes as things that we should have, that we should be striving for. So as you can see, these blessings of Ifa, these blessings of Olodumare, these blessings of God, all of them are about bringing good and greater things into the world. From long life is the king of all IRE. When you think about long life, if you have long life, you can manifest all the other IREs. We can't enjoy wealth if we don't have long life. With long life, we will have Ishegun. We will always have victory over adversity. We'll always have the ability and the staying power and the sustenance to make it over the tough times. With long life, we will have honor. We'll have peace. And eventually, we'll have leadership. If we could just live long enough. Having children is a great IRE because it's about bringing more beautiful people into the world. We are able to birth and bring folks into this world to carry on the lineage, to bring forth new ideas, to bring forth cures for diseases, to transform the culture. That's what this IRE of children is about. And Ifa is never about subtraction. Ifa is always about multiplication, right? Growing and getting greater and greater and greater. And when we think about that, we should never stop striving, never stop learning, never stop attempting to take ourselves to a better place, to a better position. When I say all I see is Ire, what I'm saying is all I see is blessings. All I see is goodness. Even in the midst of challenges and setbacks, it is the setback that is the lesson. And even a setup for something greater to come on. All I see is Ire. All I see is optimism. It is about the affirmation of truly keeping our heads to the sky because great things are coming sooner than later. And in Awo cast Ifa, when we cast Ifa, the divination must always end in Ire. Ifa, Olodumare, and the Irumule, all the divinities, all of these divinities, all they see is Ire. Why? In Ifa, there's no such thing as no. If we want something and our heart is set on it, we want something, Olodumare does not say no. Olodumare might say, not now. Just wait. Soon it will be yours. Or we want something, and Olodumare might say, that's not yours. This one is yours. Or we want something, and Olodumare says, not that. I have something even better. You might think, oh man, if I could just have a 2-bedroom house, everything would be good. Olodumare is like, that's not big enough. You need a mansion. Not that. I have something better. That's how Olodumare works. That is how Ifa works. Ifa is about expansion. Ifa is about great and greater and bigger and better and leveling up. That is really what this is about. So when I say this about all I see is Ire, I want us all to change the way that we move, change the way we think about things. In our tradition, there is less discussion on faith. There's less discussion on optimism. There's less discussion about affirmation. So many think of Ifa as like this mechanical, magical thing that, oh, I offered the abo and then now I get what I want. Yet in real life, that is never really the case. The path to actualization, the path to manifesting the things that you want and dream of is never that cut and dry. It ain't never that smooth. We think of Ifa in this linear fashion, and Ifa is not that. The way that Olodumare works, it is not linear. It has some crooks and turns, and then you go up and over and under and all of these things. But when we understand the nature of that movement, when we understand the nature of those transformations, it is really all for our good. We never see the actual path to the things we want to actualize. So we too, as Ifa followers, must maintain hope. We too, as Ifa followers, must maintain focus. We have to maintain optimism. We must affirm. I want us to change our focus this morning. I want us to change our focus and refocus on IRE. Refocus on what IRE is. I want us to take the IREs that we have talked about today and use those as affirmations for our life. The things that we focus on us. If we focus on negativity, what's going to happen? Negativity that we focus on is going to come. I was watching this show and I saw a speaker say the human mind does not work on negativity. And he made this interesting example of, he told the crowd, okay, don't think of an elephant. And when he said that, immediately, what do you think everyone thought of? An elephant. You see a picture of an elephant in your mind, even when someone tells you, don't think about that. Don't think about this negativity. Immediately your mind goes to that negative thing. Now, if we refocus from thinking of the negative thing to, man, I'm so blessed this morning. I'm blessed with my children. I'm blessed with my spouse. I'm blessed with life this morning. I want more life. I want solutions to the problems. Imagine if we shift our mind to that. If our mind can focus on the things that we don't want, then our mind can also focus on the things that we do want. All I see is IRE. Because all I want to see is IRE. So if I want to see IRE, what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to see the good in everything. The good in the most challenging situations. I want to see that. Ifa says in Obara Meji, want is not something to play with, and poverty is not something to joke about. These were the declarations of Ifa to Eshu Odara when he was weaving a basket of prosperity, but people were saying that it was a basket of deprivation. He was advised to offer a bow. He complied. Before long, not too far, join us where the prediction of Ifa has come to pass. On this Ifa is saying that manifesting your IRE, prayer, offering a bow, following the directions, it's not easy work. It's not light work. It's an aspect of focus. As Eshuadar was weaving this basket of prosperity, the people were saying, man, that is a basket of loss. That is a basket of deprivation. That is a basket full of problems. But Ifa is saying you got to focus. You got to continue and maintain focus. You got to see the destination that you want. IRE is hard work. It takes striving to actually be better. There will be individuals on the path that will be naysayers. There are going to be haters. There are going to be people who don't see your vision. And you have to maintain and see it through. It is your responsibility to do that. Above all, you got to keep the faith. You got to keep the faith. That's what Ifa is saying. If Eshuadara had given up, his faith would have been for nothing. Ifa says in Ejiogbe, we cannot be as massive as an elephant. We cannot be as sturdy as the buffalo. No leader is as revered and as important as the Oni. No hill is as impressive as Igbadi Hill. The Igbadi hill is so important and so impressive that it carries another hill on top of its head and the and points its mouth like an elephant tusk. These Rifaz declarations for Oba Ble Jitoto Semi. He consulted Ifa in order to find out if life would be agreeable for him. He was advised to offer a bow. He complied. Now, the water that I fetched at dawn, the water that I fetched early in the morning, my destiny cannot but be cool and calm. The water that I fetched at dawn, my destiny cannot help but be cool and calm. Ifa is saying you get what you put in. But on another level, Ifa is talking about you cannot be, you cannot aspire to be the elephant. You cannot aspire to be the buffalo. You cannot, your destiny, you were not born to be the Oni. Ifa is saying, in these things that we are attempting to bring into fruition, you got to focus on being realistic. You can't be unrealistic about your goals and aspirations and the E-ray that you want to bring into the world. And what I mean by that, I remember some folks came to me years ago and they was like, "Oh man, there's this house down the way and it's $900,000. Let's offer a bow, and so we can get it." And my thought process was like, "Man, that is insane. Who are you hanging around with? What kind of money do you have?" People sometimes want something for nothing, and they think, like I said, that Ifa is about magic. No, it's about hard work, planning, affirming, prayer, offering a bow, incremental steps to manifest the goal. It ain't about, oh, all of a sudden it just turned out all right, right? That is unrealistic. Ifa is saying, as we go through this process and this path, we've got to be realistic about where we want to go and what we want to do. So, in this process of seeing the array, we've got to jot down goals. We've got to have organization. We got to have a schedule for the day. Everybody in this Ifa circle, everybody in this Ifa temple, you need to have a ritual. You need to have your routine. You wake up, go pray, work out, take your teas, something. You got to have your regimen for the day. And don't deviate from your regimen, because that regimen, that ritual, is the process that's going to take you to where you want to go. Anytime you get distracted from the path and the process, your ritual, your your process in terms of getting you there, if you use it as perfunctory function every day, you're going to come back to that ritual. Develop your rituals, develop your routine, and be realistic, because that is the incremental process that's going to get you to your destination. Ifa says in Ejiogbe, everything is in your hands. Let me say that again. Everything is in your hands. This was the Ifa cast for Akapo when lamenting his inability to secure any ire in life. He was advised to offer a bow. He complied. Now, everything is in your hands. If you come into this world, if I come into this world, I will be blessed with wealth. Everything is in your hands. If I come into this world, I will be blessed with a compatible spouse. Everything is in your hands. If I come into this world, I will be blessed with good children. Everything is in your hands. If I come into this world, I will be blessed with magnificent property. Everything is in your hands. If I come into this world, I will be blessed with all array of life. Everything is in your hands. Ifa is telling us it's in your own hands. It's in your own choices. If you don't have the array that you want, if you don't have the life, the the good things, the great things that you say you want in this world, it's in your hands. Some things that we have going on in our lives, we might think, oh my God, it's witchcraft, it's someone did this problem. Sometimes it's your crop. Sometimes it's some stuff that you did in the world. Sometimes, well, man, why am I always in debt? Well, maybe because you don't pay your bill. Maybe it's because you aren't saving money. All of a sudden, well, why is it that my health is bad? Well, why are you smoking all the time? Why are you doing destructive behavior that harms your body? And you come up like, "Wow, this man, this witchcraft." No, it's not. It's in your hands. Your array is in your hands. Your array, your blessings are your responsibility to maintain, to cultivate, to bring into existence. Ifa is an assistant. Ifa is a counselor, a tool, but it's in your hands. If you don't want it, it's easy to get rid of it. It's hard to get, but easy to lose. It's in your hands. Ifa says, and idigbere, the insignificance of an awo is only for today. Tomorrow, that awo shall grow up and become great. The banana stays by the river and enjoys comfort and regal. The awo ola menimola. These Rifa's declarations to my suffering ends today. The child of Agbaniregun, when coming from heaven to earth, he was advised to offer a bow. He complied. Today, my suffering ends. Tomorrow, it shall be comfort. When the Dundun drummer strikes the drum with his stick, 200 jingles will dance and shake in response. Today, my suffering ends. Tomorrow, it shall turn to comfort. Ifa is saying, you gotta have an idea of optimism. You gotta have hope. Ifa says, this is cast Ifa for my suffering ends today. And then it goes further in this verse to say, the child of Agboniregun. Who is Agboniregun? That is a very powerful praise name for Orunmila, for Ifa. So Ifa is saying, if you want to be a child of the Irumole, you have to take on a mindset of my suffering ends today. You have to have an optimistic viewpoint of the world as you move through it. You can't have a fatalistic attitude. You can't have an attitude that, oh man, it's about nothing. It ain't gonna be. You have to take on a level of today. The problem that I'm experiencing will end. If it doesn't end today, I'm doing something to bring it to close. If it doesn't end tomorrow, I'm still working to bring it into closure. My suffering ends today. When we think about suffering, suffering also can be an aspect of perspective. Follow me on this. When we look at things as if they are a complete problem, it will waylay us. What we have to begin to look at is, man, what is Ifa telling me in this? What could I have done differently? It's a lesson. Sometimes the things that we think are for our bad are actually for our good. Sometimes the delays we might experience might be things that protect us from a problem down the line. But suffering in the midst of that, lamenting, being depressed, that in that moment is a choice. So, what I ask everyone today when we talk about this changing of our perspective, when we talk about this focus on the IRE, I want us to eliminate suffering. Eliminate suffering today. Eliminate choosing to suffer through problems. I want us to choose solutions. Don't talk so much about the issue, the problem. Don't talk so much about that. Today, let's begin a process of saying, all right, here's the solution. Instead of saying, man, this bill, bruh, man, I'm trying to get this money to get this. No, what's the solution, man? How can I get the money that I need? How can I transform this situation? Start looking for the pot of gold because there is one. There's a pot of gold, even in the drama. There's a pot of gold somewhere. There's some blessings somewhere in that process. I want us to also focus on faith. Ifa says in Osai Wardi, Oba, please take a look at it. Osa, please take a look at it. Iwori, please observe everything carefully. These Ifa's decorations to the Olofin of the bare floor, who will later transform into the Olofin worthy of daily veneration. He was advised to offer a bow. He complied. This is me, the Olofin of the bare floor. I have now transformed into the Olofin who is being venerated daily. I erect a home of prosperity. I erect a home of spouses. I erect a home of children. I erect a home of longevity. And I erect a home of all array of life. Ifa, once again, is telling us the situation that we might find ourselves in at one moment, that situation is not our destination. Ifa is saying that there's good things, greater things coming into the world. And we must focus on the destination as opposed to the situation. Last, let's talk about this story. It comes from Obar Egutan. Ifa says, I reap benefits at home. I also reap benefits in the farm. These Ifa's declarations to Akin Sami, the offspring of Ikoro Aga, when he set up traps, and the front trap took 20 animals, and the back took 30 animals, and the middle trap took 50 animals. He reached up and pulled down a creeper plant, and 16 land snails fell down. He opened his mouth in exclamation, and honey dropped into his mouth. He returned home, and his wife, who was pregnant, had given birth to a set of twins. He declared that his life was as fulfilled of that as that of the Alafin. Before long, not too far, join us in the midst of Ire. So this is the story of Akin Sami. And Akin Sami was a man who worked very, very hard. And his job was to set deadfall traps. These traps that you know what deadfalls are. They you have maybe a stick and um, maybe a large rock, and when the animals take the bait, the rock falls, crushes it. So we had about 3 traps set, or traps different set up in different places, and that was his daily bread. That was how he made his money. And for years, Akin Sami was unsuccessful. He was living in an impoverished state. He was challenged. He went to Castifa, and the Babalao told him he needed to offer a bow. And along with offering a bow, he needed to have an optimistic attitude. He didn't need to give up on what he was doing. He needed to continue to strive and continue to maintain and do things for the greater good. He needed to maintain this process. So Akin Sami heard what the Awol said, and he continued his process. He continued for quite a long time. He continued setting deadfall traps to no avail, even after he had offered a bow and maintained his faith and maintained everything that the Babalao told him to do. The Babalao even said that it will come one day when everything you have prayed for will come to pass. One day, everything that you have said that you want, it's going to happen. But the key is you have to maintain. You have to continue to work at it. You must continue to keep the faith. You can't give up. You can't stop the process. You got to keep going. So Akin Sami listened. And he continued to set these deadfall traps. And it was even perhaps 6 months to a year, and he was still in the same place. This is an element of faith that oftentimes people don't talk about anymore. You gotta have faith. You have to have an optimistic attitude. You have to be hopeful. And it wasn't until the 366th day, so that's a year and a day, Akin Sami went, and the first trap had 30 animals. The second trap had 20 animals. And then the middle trap had 50 animals. So in one day, he had 100 animals. And he was like, wow, man, this is great. And he reached up to get like a vine and a creeper plant to tie the animals up. As he reached up and grabbed the creeper plant, he's yanking it down, and then all of a sudden, a bunch of land snails fell down. 16 hit the ground. And he tied the animals up with the creeper plant, and then he looking and he counted 16 land snails. And all of these are things that he could go and sell at the market. And he gathered all those things. And then he was so excited that, man, in one day, he got 100 animals and he got 16 land snails in one day. And he looks up in the sky and he's like, yeah. And as he looks up, a honeycomb tilts over and honey lands in his mouth. And he was so excited because that too, that honey is money. that honey is something that he could take and use. He could harvest that and use it to make money. So in one day, he got money for he got the money he could make for the 100 animals. He could sell those 16 land snails, and then he got a huge honeycomb. All of these things he could go forward and use to make money to be even more successful. As he's trooping home, he walks in, and he had been on his hunting mission so long that his pregnant wife had given birth. And when she gave birth to a set of twins. Twins are a sign of wealth. Twins are a sign of immense blessing. Aside from just having a birth, twins are also that. So he was excited. He got 100 animals, 16 land snails, a honeycomb, and twins, all in the same day. And then he said, man, I feel like the king. I feel like the Alafin. I feel like I am as actualized. I'm great like the Alafin. That's basically what he said. And he's yelling this in his house. And folks, like I said before, when you focus on the IRE and you're realistic about the IRE and the blessings, there's always some haters in the background. It's always some naysayers. It's always some folks who want to kick up dust because they don't have what you have, or they want what you have. They might want your position. They might just not want other folks to be happy. And these haters, doing what haters do, realized, oh man, he said that he's the king. That's treason. So they went and snitched and told the Oba, Akinsami is out here saying that he's the king. You can go send your men, hem him up. And they went and got Akinsami. Now imagine the day that you manifest all the great things that you got coming to you. The one day you hit the proverbial lottery after doing hard work. That same day, you go to jail and you are put on trial for execution. That's what happened to Akinsami. So on the same day, he had his highest heights and his lowest lows. But what did he say? Keep the faith. Be optimistic. All you got to see is the IRE, because this setup this setback might be a setup for something greater. Hold up, Akinsami. I'm sure Akinsami was like, man, Olodumare, what's going on? Olodumare's like, hold up. Something's better. Something great is coming for you. Chill. Watch me move. Watch me now. You know, that's what Olodumare was saying. He was like, hold up, watch me. Watch me. Akinsami went on trial in front of the king. And the king said, what's this I hear of you saying that you are the Alafin? What's this I hear of you saying that you are as great as me? No one says these things without repercussion. You're not the Alafin. I'm the Alafin. And Akinsami said he was allowed to speak and plead his case. And I can only imagine the story he told the king. He must have said, well, look, King, Alafin, I respect you. I respect your position, but have you been in my situation before ever in your life? Imagine this. Imagine going 4 years in poverty. Imagine that. Wondering where your next meal is going to come from. And maintaining faith and optimism until one day, after you've worked hard and you've gone to work every day, you've been diligent, you work for yourself, and you do all of these things. And one day, your life changes. You get the payoff that you've been waiting for 4 years. In one day, I got 20 animals in one trap. And one day I got 30 animals in the other trap. And one day I got 50 animals in the back trap. Oh, by how, Alafin, how would you feel? And when that same day, I reached up to grab a vine to tie these plants, these animals up. And 16 land snails fell at my feet. How would you feel? Same time when I got these 100 animals and these 16 land snails, I'm like yelling and screaming. I'm like, yeah, I got it. We eat today. The rent is getting paid today. I can get the things I want for my family today. I'm doing that. And I look up and honey falls in my mouth. Honey from heaven. How would you feel? And then after all of those things happened, I go home and I see my wife, who I hadn't seen in months. And when I saw her last, she was pregnant. And when I get home, she had just given birth to a set of twins. Alafin, what would you say? What would you say? I said what anyone would say. I praised God and I said, I feel like the king. I feel like I am Alafin today. So the Oba looked at Akinsami, and within that process, he gave Akinsami this blessing of land, of prosperity, of all these wonderful, wonderful good things. He then said, Akinsami, you're so blessed. I too want to be blessed with you. So I'm going to bless you because you are such a blessing. What did I say? What did Olodumare say? Watch me. Watch me work. Watch me. Watch me work. Sometimes we need to wait and watch how Olodumare is going to transform a situation that we might have found ourselves in. And I'm telling you, Olodumare can transform a situation. You know how some folks say, won't he do it? I'm sure Akinsami said the same. Won't Ifa do it? Won't Olodumare do it? So, what I ask of everyone today, if you all could please transform and refocus. And as we refocus, let's focus on the great things that life has to offer, the great blessings that Olodumare has to offer. Let's focus on those things, those incredible, incredible blessings that Olodumare has for us. Let's focus on that instead of focusing on the pain, because pain will only last for an instant. It will only be for a time. We will have our blessings soon. I want us to focus on the victory this month. I want us to focus on prosperity. I want us to focus on healing. I want us to focus on joy. I want us to say every day this month, my suffering ends today. My suffering ends today. That's the end of that problem and the beginning of joy. Ashe. Thank you all so much for joining us today. Again, thank you for listening to this message. I ask everyone, if you enjoy and you like the things that you hear, please like and contribute. Um, help us to continue. Help us to keep this process going and growing, and um, also support our Itadogun. Our Itadogun's coming up actually tomorrow. So I think the Itadogun is tomorrow. So if you are interested, Itadogun is basically a divination that we do for the community, our temple community, and it's a great opportunity for everyone to join in the process of offering a bow. So you get a bow and you get a process where you're participating with the community. So if you'd like to do that, I will post flyers for that, and we'll be casting our Itadogun tomorrow. Also, this coming Friday, I last Friday I canceled the class. I've been having some computer issues, but we've solved them. So this coming Friday, I'm going to have our Conversations with Ifa class. So those of you who are interested, you can join. I will post the link shortly, and what you'll do, you'll register on our website. Conversations with Ifa is going to be on the topic of working with Oshe Ifa, your hand of Ifa, and so on. So if you want to learn some skills, some techniques to work with your hand of Ifa, those who have Mano de Orula or Wofakan, you can come to this class and you can learn how to work with your Ifa. What I would suggest, everyone please get cola nuts, 4-lobe cola nuts, and also get orogbo. We're going to use that. We're going to use gin. We're going to use palm oil as some of our tools, and I'm going to show you how to work with those on that day. So that's this Friday, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. All right. So thank you all so much for joining us. I hope that this message was a blessing for you. And let's go on and pray out. Olodumare, we thank you for this wonderful rain once again in Los Angeles. We thank you for life, health, strength, food, clothing, and shelter, and the manifestation of prayers. Help us to refocus our minds so that we can focus on the great, the good things that are coming for us, because good things are coming for us. We thank you for that mindset. We thank you for that process. We thank you for this opportunity to refocus and to focus on the IRE, because all you see is IRE for us, and all we see is IRE. Blessings, blessings, blessings. Thank you all so much. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Abo, aboy, abo, shishe, aboto.
Alone for this time, returning to the peace of my mind.